fine.
Oh, where's my mic?
That's your mic. It's on.
It's not on me.
It's not on you, but it's on.
It's on. Hello, people.
We're getting our act together as usual.
I've been busy placing orders.
Yes.
Or filling orders.
Filling orders. I was like, are you placing orders? Are you
Well-
over there ordering stuff?
Buying stuff. Taking stuff. No.
Come on, Facebook. Come on.
Come on.
Wake up.
Wake up.
August, that's today. There. So Many Creations is live now. Okay. All right. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
There you
Give you guys a
are.
couple seconds to come on. Did you get it?
I got it.
All right. Can you hear us okay? Barb's here. We're mic'd. We're caffeinated.
Hi,
We're ready to
Dorothy.
go.
She said hi to me too.
You have to
Hi,
say hi
Marv.
to Barb too. She's always here. If I had to do a Facebook Friday without Barb, it's going to be really weird. You know. I'm sure it'll happen at some point. You'll have something
Maybe.
to do on a Friday,
Oh,
and
I
I'll
don't
be
know.
alone.
I have such a busy life.
Don't we all right now? I just have so many plans. I can't even come up with all of
I
them.
just don't know what to do with myself.
Oh, all right. I guess
Hi,
I can.
Diana.
I can
Thank you.
Stop rambling. Is that Diana McCrae?
It is. She said hi to me.
What about me? No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, Diane.
We are
Will.
here for your entertainment. Okay. I'll just do my normal chit chat while I wait for everybody to come on. Just a small update, a little personal thing. A couple of you sent me some emails and some messages due to my very vague outburst on Wednesday's drawing about the weird things that happened to me that day. And yes, we are all good, and everything is fine, and we haven't had to call 911 again. So we're all good. My poor husband is now a frequent caller to the emergency system. There was a car accident in front of our house, and then there was an explosion next door to our office. But we are fine. Everything is fine. Not everyone is fine, but nobody in our life was directly affected. So thank you for your concern. Sorry, I'm a lunatic. But we're all used to that by now, aren't we? Stop shaking your head, Barb.
Oh, was I doing that?
All right, let's do a drawing. Let's make Barb do a drawing, because that's her job.
It's my Friday job.
It's your Friday job. If somebody else is here, I'm going to make them draw names because I don't want to. I want somebody else to do it. I made my mom do it. I made my husband do it. Now Barb gets to do it. Who's our Friday winner?
It is Lindsay Batts.
Lindsay Batts from Paducah, Kentucky.
Oh,
Lindsay, I don't know if you're watching. You might be working, but Lindsay, you are today's winner. Let's see what you won. Lindsay, I know from AQS shows, which I don't get to go to right at the moment, but that's okay.
I want to go back.
Whoops. Hold on.
She's
Don't
throwing
shake the
things
bag
now.
with it open. Shake the bag closed. I'll get this together. Okay. Lindsay, what did you win?
Let's see what she won. This is exciting. I can't open it. A 9x27 cork of your choice.
Nice. Lindsay, you won cork of your choice. So after this video, probably within the next hour or so, I will send you an email. You can let me know what color you would like, and I will put that in the notes on the video when we upload it. So other than that, I'm going to put this away for right now. Let's do our business and then talk about what's been going on this week, and then do some computer talk. I know, not the most exciting conversation, but we are going to have it. So if you haven't already, like, follow, and share our posts. Thank you very much. Did you guys know, trivia time, today is our 14th video in a row. Barb's 13th, because she was not with me the first night. 14.
Really?
14. I counted 3 times today just to make sure, because sometimes I can't count. 14 today.
God, it doesn't
I know,
seem like
it's
that
been
much.
since May. So, and some of
Wow.
you have been here every single week during the lives, watching and commenting. So thank you. And the rest of you that watch this when it's not live, I know probably you have to work still. I get it. I still have to work. But thank you all for watching.
I have fun work.
Barb has fun work. She gets to ship all your orders out and quilt, because she has her own business too. Our group has 373 members, 73. I've had either too much coffee or not enough. 373 members as of this morning. So that's awesome. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, why? Why don't you want to be friends with us? There's really cool stuff there and a lot of positivity, and we all can use that all the time. So join the Facebook group. Let's see. Oh, so I had a couple of ideas just to kind of engage all of us and just, for something else that we can all do. So I thought each week we would add in like a little personal tidbit of knowledge. So I'll tell you a little something and then I'll ask you to also share with me. That way we can get to know each other a little bit better. And who knows, maybe you'll make some new Facebook friends, So I thought this week I would tell you probably the most boring fact about me, but it's a fact. Where are you all from? Not just now, but where are you originally from? And if we have met in person, remind me how. Leave me a comment and tell me kind of that information, because some of you, obviously I remember we've met in person. Some of you I just know through Facebook, and some of you I have a terrible memory and I don't remember. So remind me and pretend, even if you know that I know, tell me anyway. So most boring thing about me. I am 40 years old and I have lived in New York State my entire life. The 40 part wasn't the boring part. I have lived in New York my entire life, 40 years. I have never lived more than 30 miles from the hospital I was born in. I know. Barb just gave me one of those looks. I have lived in, I counted yesterday, six different cities and towns in New York State, but I have never ventured outside. I've never lived in another state. I think my husband's actually worse because he's only lived in a couple places. We live in the house that his grandparents built. Like, we're just not leaving. I don't know. Someday we keep saying we'll leave, but we haven't. So yeah, it's kind of boring, but I am a born and raised New Yorker. I wasn't one of those people that lived in a bunch of places. Barb, I feel like, are you originally from Connecticut?
Yes, I am.
I got it right. And you've lived in a few states.
I have gone from Connecticut to New Jersey, back to Connecticut, to New York, to Florida, back to New York, back to Florida, and back to New York again.
See, I can't even say like that one time that I lived in another state. I don't. Is that why I enjoyed traveling so much? Maybe. I don't know. But it's just the way it is. It's just the way that it happened. My grandparents moved briefly to Florida. I visited them, but like I never lived anywhere else. So tell me about you. I know Diana is from Southern California because she always tells me how nice it is there, even though it's crummy here right now. And I know a couple of you from your addresses. Tell me where you're from, where you grew up. Tell me a little bit about you, and next week we'll have another question. And if you don't want to tell me, that's fine. I'll get over it. I'm still going to keep on talking regardless. So the other thing that I thought would be kind of fun, if you are in the Facebook group, so we'll do it over in the group, another encouragement maybe to join, is my challenge for you in this month of August. I want you to try something new. So, and this is in relations to our patterns. Is there a pattern you bought that you just haven't tried yet? Is there a pattern you want to try making in cork? Is there something, a piece of hardware you have that you haven't, tried yet? I am going to encourage all of you to try something new. Do something different that you haven't tried yet and tell us about it. Tell us why you waited and show us what you made. It's just fun. We all like to, see what everyone makes. If you are not part of the Facebook group, seriously, it is the most encouraging, positive group of people. I love it. I love getting notifications because everybody is so happy and everyone loves what you make. So you'll get lots of compliments. So if you're having a crummy day, post something in the Facebook group. I guarantee you it will make your day better. So that's my challenge for you. And I'm also going to partake in this challenge because thanks to Charlie for explaining to me a couple weeks ago that there is two different types of Decovil. In the interfacing video, which was 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I tried the Decovil Heavy. This is the 526 because I didn't know that there were different kinds. I tried this live on camera. I fused it to try it out. But I finally got a hold of the 525. Guys, this is the hardest stuff in the world to find. I don't know why that is, but I finally found somebody on Etsy selling it, and I'm not going to tell you what I paid for it because it's embarrassing, but I wanted to try it out. I did order a bolt of this from the distributor, but it's not in stock, so I don't know if I'm ever getting it, when I'm getting it. I'm hoping it comes back in. It seems to be out of stock everywhere, but I was able to find some, so this is definitely a lot thinner. if you want to turn the up or down, whatever you want to do, air conditioning.
Well, that's noisy.
This is definitely a lot thinner than this one. This one's a lot firmer. So what I'm going to do, my first challenge for August, I'm going to play with this. I want to make something with the Decovil, and I also want to make the same thing with the Decorbon, and I want to see how they feel in comparison so I can give you guys like a really accurate description of what I think. So I'm not going to do this one on camera live today. That's going to be my challenge.
If you get hot, let me know.
I will. I don't know what I'm going to make yet, but I'm going to play with that this weekend, and then I can give you guys my information and my opinion, because I'm always honest with you. If I like it, I'll tell you, and if I don't like it, I'll tell you that too. And if I just bought a bolt of it and I hate it, I'll tell you that too. I'm hoping I like it enough to use it. So let's see. I'm just going through here. Give you your August challenge and post that in the group. And I got my Decovil. So, if you have not gotten your magazine yet, let me know if you're having any problems finding that. I will help you as best as I can. It's been out for 1 whole week, the new Quilts and More. This one right here, in case you missed it last week or missed the post. So it's been out for a whole week. Let me know what you think, or if you can get that. Like I said, if you can't get it, if you're having problems, I'll see if I can find it for you, and I'll help you as best as I can with sources. There are online sources right on the homepage of the website. So there is that. And a couple more things, and then we'll get into today's topic. I have been working all week filming and editing videos. I have some new stuff I'm working on that I will hopefully have up, I'm hoping next week. I'm working on some free stuff for YouTube, and I also have to update YouTube with our Facebook videos. I was chatting with somebody via email, and she said she just left Facebook. She doesn't do it anymore, so she can't watch my videos. And I said, they're on YouTube, but I'm behind. I have to get them updated. So I've been making some new videos, and I just finished filming. I'm still editing, about halfway done, my first pay-for video. So the Prima Diva, this is, I would say, our most challenging pattern, because there's so much going on. And it's one of those things that everybody looks at this completed and goes, oh, I don't know how to do this. It's too much. It's so much going on. But in the video, I walk you step by step through each step in order. We go through the whole thing. I give you lots of tips and techniques, ones that are included in the pattern, some extra ones that I've learned along the way, things that I've learned from teaching this in classes. So the video itself is about halfway done being edited. I made this one right here. I even have tips on dealing with the Diva screws, tips with dealing with interfacing, not sticking, all sorts of stuff. So it's a really good video. It will be for purchase. It's in addition to the pattern. So if you already own the pattern and want to purchase the video, you're not double buying it. The pattern is not included. If you don't ever need the video, that's okay too. Some people don't want the extra help or don't need it. So I decided to do this one first because, like I said, this one to me, this is like Thanksgiving dinner. When you look at it all at once, you think, how am I going to get that all done? I can't make a turkey and pies and mashed potatoes. We do each thing one at a time. We take our time. And the great thing about a video, you can watch it as many times as you need. You can watch it over the course of a month if that's how long it takes you. You don't have to rush through it. When I teach in a class, we have our time frame and we have to get it done. So I think it'll be fun for the video. You can watch it over and over and over again. You can skip parts you don't need and rewind to the parts you do need. So I will let you guys know when that's up. That is hopefully by next week. I have been very tired this week. I've been editing, and editing takes a while. So it's getting there. So, and let's see what else. Oh, I've asked you guys this before. I'm going to ask you again, please. We have a whole list of topics. I have them in my phone. I have all the weeks kind of prepared, but I want to know your thoughts. If you have topic ideas that you want me to cover, if there's something you want me to go more in depth with, if there's something I've already talked about but you want more details, or you want, you want it presented in a different way, tell me what you want. Tell me what I can do for you guys, because if you don't give me topics, I have to leave Facebook and Barb won't have a job and it'll be really tragic. I'm just kidding. But please give me some ideas. I want to make you guys happy. Barb has a question.
There was a comment here. Yes. Are you going to have kits, I guess, in relationship to your video? A lot of people
will I have kits like for this, for what's in the video? Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. You guys like kits, which is part 2 of that question. Are there other things you want kits for? I know for like June and July, we were hot and heavy with kits, making kits constantly. I have slowed down a little bit because I've been doing some videos and doing some other things, and the end of July into August got super busy with like lots of little things behind the scenes. If there's other things you want kits for, let me know. I'm happy to put kits together and make new samples and kit things. This one, yeah, we have all the fabric. This is all the brand new Tula Pink and True Colors. And our zippers,
if there's any
our
left.
frames, if there's any left, if Barb and her daughter-in-law haven't bought all of it. But yeah, I will definitely, I'll do this as a kit anyway, and I'll list it when the video's up. That way you can decide what items you want. So that's what I've been working on. I have some new things I'm trying to get done, and hopefully some free, smaller tips videos will be going up as well. Yes.
And there was one other question in relationship to your videos.
Yes.
Are you going to have a bag sew along?
So the question is, will I have a bag sew along? I haven't thought about that. We could do a bag sew along. I mean, that sounds like fun. What bag do you want to do? You know, I'm open to anything at this point. So my husband and I were talking a couple days ago, and we made the decision. It was not an easy decision. And again, I say things and then I change my mind. But as of today, as of August 7th, I am not going to be going to any shows until we are feeling super comfortable with everything going on, and the mask wearing is either completely done or very minimal, like maybe if you just have like a health issue. I am not comfortable myself being in a crowded public situation and also setting up a booth. If you've never done it, it's a bitch. I'm sorry. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hustling and sweating and moving. I'm not comfortable wearing a mask to do that. I worked at Log Cabin, my local quilt shop, this past weekend during our event, which went super well. If you're local and I saw you, hi again. Thank you for coming. Wearing that mask for 2 days was exhausting. So if you have to wear one every day, God bless you. You're an amazing person, because after 2 days I was complaining. So if I have to do that for setup and for an entire show and takedown, I'm not comfortable doing that. And I'm just not comfortable with the thought of it. And is it going to be a smart idea and a profitable idea? So as of right now, I don't know when I'm ever leaving again. I'm here in this office. So
No.
yeah, I'm here, Barb's here. So if you guys have other ideas, other things you want me to think about, tell me. You're my audience. You're my group of friends. And in case you didn't know it yet, we're all family now because you watch me every week.
Another thought is a bag of the month.
A bag of the month. That means I have to really get my heck together.
Exactly.
I don't hate the bag of a month idea. I just know that I have to do a lot of work to do that. So I'm writing it down because I don't want to forget. And
I'll remind her.
yeah, she will remind me. Trust me. I keep forgetting you guys can hear Barb. You can hear her asking questions. That's why we got new microphones. Bag of the month and a sew along. These are all fantastic ideas, things that I will definitely think about, and we'll see what we can figure out with that. So I like it. I keep the ideas coming. Remember, I am going to be here every Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning talking to you. And if I don't have a topic to talk about, I'm going to talk about my dogs or what I ate for dinner. And that just doesn't sound like fun. So I have a list of topics that should get us through at least till the end of the year. But I want to make sure, the Kiss Lock frames that we did a few weeks ago, I didn't think about that idea. Somebody else mentioned that, and I was like, oh, that's a great single piece of hardware to talk about. Barb's laughing, so I can only imagine what the comment is. Yes.
Andrea Austin wants to know, can we all come over and have a sewing sleepover?
Yes. Yes. Let's have a sewing sleepover. We will sleep 6 feet apart, but we will hang out. So actually, Andrea, thank you for reminding me of one last thing I wanted to talk about. Some of you were not here last week, or some of you might not have watched the video yet, and you might not know. If you notice, my backdrop is different. If you notice in some of the drawings I did this week that I was standing in places that looked unfamiliar, we do have our shop open. So as of Monday, did we open up? I think we opened on Monday.
I believe.
We are open by appointment only. Don't show up, because I might not be here, and my husband might be here, and
Oh, yeah.
him trying to help you. He's good. If he's watching, he's great. But you're coming to see us. Let's be honest here. So if you want to come visit us and you want to come touch the samples and shop and see what we have and get, look at cork and fabric in person, we are open by appointment only. You will need to email me. Tell me how many people are in your party and give me some dates and times. If we are unavailable for any reason, I will let you know. I do have a Zoom guild thing coming up and a couple little things here and there. But, you know, we're pretty flexible because we're not going anywhere. So just email us and let us know, and either Barb or myself or both of us will be here. But the pop-up shop is open. So if you didn't watch last week's video, I'm not going to do a tour again, but if you go to last week's Facebook Live, you can see the shop all set up. There are no signs out. I am in my husband's office, so when you email me and we pick our date and time, I will give you the address and the specifics of getting here so that you're not driving in circles wondering where on earth I am. My signs are not out front. Technically, I don't exist here, but that's okay. The mailman knows me, so okay. I think that's all the business stuff. Let's talk about today's topic, which is something I get emailed and asked about a lot, and it's something that I think we all need to understand and be on the same page about. And that is about PDF patterns, PDF printing, and templates. So if you already know all this and you're good with computers, you are welcome to leave. I would like it if you stayed, but it's okay. But I think sometimes we're always, we're in this rush to get stuff done and to print things, and we forget sometimes that there's a couple little things that we should check out before we print. So one thing I will encourage all of you to do, if you don't have it already on your computer, is to download Adobe Reader, okay? You really want to have the reader on your computer, and that is if you just go to acrobat.adobe.com. It's right on the homepage. It's free, and all that is a free reader for PDFs. So when you open a PDF, you can open a PDF anywhere. I can open it on my phone, on my tablet, on my computer, but what happens is, depending on how you open it, sometimes you're limited by your print options. If I use the reader and I open it on my computer, I have more options than if I double click and open a PDF and it opens into the internet. It all depends on how your computer is set up and what you have, but it's always best if you open the PDF, download it, save it to your computer, and use Adobe to open it. And the reason is this. Most computers, not all, but most computers, when you open, regardless of where you are, to print something, they go to an automatic setting of fit to page or scale or fit to printable area. These are all bad. Only because if you are printing something with templates, you could be printing your templates inaccurately. And sometimes they don't look wrong. So if you have a pattern that has that test square, which I will be totally honest with you, and I'm a little embarrassed of this, some of mine do and some of mine don't because I forget to do it, but I do usually show you pictures of how the template should look. If you have a test square, print it and check it. If it's supposed to be an inch and it's not an inch, then you have to check your settings. If it's something of mine, usually in the pattern, I'm going to show you how the template looks on that piece. So you can see that if it's taking up the whole piece of fabric or if yours looks like this, it's incorrect. So when you're printing, you always want to go to your settings, which are usually to your left, and you want to find the place that says print to actual size. And I printed out on my computer. I know this is going to be hard for you to see, but I printed a little sheet here, and I will point and then I'll hold it up here. I was printing something today. Don't mind the blobs. Our printer is doing something weird. Under here, it says page sizing and handling. I have the option to fit. I have the option to shrink. I have a custom size, or I have actual size. This right here, that is what I want, actual size. Because if you print to any of the other options, it might look like this. So this is a template from the Prima Diva. This is actual size. This is fit. They look about the same, right? They're not. And I cut out two right here from the Abby sling bag. This one is actual size and this one was fit to printable area. They look about the same until you notice that they're about 1/4 of an inch off. That's going to make a difference in your bag. And it all depends on the bag itself and I think how many templates you have. The Abby, for instance, which is, just in case you don't know, this one. The Abby has a few templates. There's the template that's going to cut your scoop for the pocket. There's the template that's going to cut down here. And there's a template for this piece of cork. If this piece of cork is wrong, I'm going to know it immediately because it's not going to fit on here. If this is wrong, I might not notice it because the pocket scoop might just be a little bit different. If this down here is incorrect, this gusset might not fit correctly. And so you want to really be careful with that. Some bags, if you are printing all the templates and they're all printing incorrectly, some bags might go together fine. A bag like the Prima Diva, these scoop pockets right here that are in the back, that was the template that I showed you here. That template is the exact same size as the fabric. It's just the scoop that you need to cut. You're going to know if that's wrong when you put it in the wallet because it's not going to be the same size this way. And these side panels, if these are incorrect, they might not be the correct height. They might not meet on the ends. There's a lot of little things that can go wrong if you don't choose the correct way to print. So every time I get a PDF, I download it to my computer, I save it somewhere. Number one, so that I don't have to go looking for it later in my email. I don't have to worry about a link being broken. I don't have to worry that I lost the receipt. I save it to my computer. I have a special folder where I save, I name the folder something, and I save everything there. And before I print, I go onto that print page and I make sure that it says actual size. I also printed, because I wanted to show you this. This is the actual size here of the Prima Diva template. There's another one. That's how that printed out. Now, to me, it's obvious that this is wrong because I wrote the pattern. I know that looks really small. It might not be obvious to you when you're printing it out. So check the square if there's a test square. If there is not, go through the pattern and see if there's a place that you can look at where the template lines up on fabric, see if there's measurements of any kind. Check those things and always make sure it says actual size. I also printed a pattern page. My patterns go very close to the edge. They have a narrow margin. This was fit, and you see how that's about 1 inch instead of like a 1/2 inch. Sometimes you can tell, and that's how I can always tell if I wasn't careful on my computer, because fit usually scales everything down a little bit. And like I said, sometimes you don't notice it. So that's just something that I like to kind of remind everybody. I know that not everyone's tech savvy. I'm not always the most tech savvy. I mean, sometimes I'm just in a rush and I don't think. But I don't want you to get to the end and find out at the end that all of your templates were incorrect. So for anything, and I mean, this applies not just to bag making, but to quilting. Quick little story. I had gotten a while ago an email from a shop, and they were going to use one of my paper piece patterns as like a promotional thing. They had planned on selling lots and lots of patterns, and they wanted to make a sample because they just ordered one pattern. Being the nice person that I am, I said, sure, I'll just email you a copy since you're going to place an order. Here you go. When I emailed the copy, whoever printed it at the shop did not check her settings. She went through and cut all the fabric without checking anything, made all the paper piece blocks. And in paper piecing, those are foundations. You need to sew on those lines. As far as she could tell, all those blocks looked fine until she got to piecing the secondary block, which was cut 1 inch too big. It was a very dramatic day. We'll leave it at that. But there was a lot of words said. And when I looked back and realized I had emailed it to her, I said, did your employee print it to actual size? It sounds like she didn't. And that's how we figured out what had happened. So whether it's a quilt pattern or a bag pattern, always print to actual size. Okay, I hope that made sense to everybody. Maybe all of you have just been lucky and winging it. I don't know, but just a little something. Let me just check here, make sure there's nothing else about printing. Okay, so I told you that. So now I want to show you a little trick that I do when I'm printing templates. You can obviously print these onto cardstock or template plastic if you like. I don't use a lot of template plastic. I just find it awkward for myself. And sometimes I'll print to cardstock. I have a little trick that will work if you're using paper or cardstock. And Barb has a question.
I have a question.
Oh, Barb has a question. Barb actually has a question for me. Yes.
Can you run template plastic through your printer?
That's a great question, and I don't know. If somebody knows that, let us know. If you could run template plastic through your printer, I think that would be amazing. But I don't know. I think it depends. I know laser printers get hotter than
it would
the
have
other
to be a
printers.
dot matrix.
It might not work. I don't know. Don't try it. I don't want anybody to ruin their printer. But if you've ever done it or know anything about it, tell us. I feel like Charlie knows. Charlie knows everything.
I haven't seen Charlie today.
Charlie's not on. Well, maybe he'll tell us later. So if I'm printing templates, I usually either just print it on paper or I print it on cardstock. And so if I'm using either one of those, I have a couple of tricks to get my templates cut out so that they don't move when I'm cutting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera for just a quick second so you can see my cutting mat over here, and I'm going to show you how I cut templates. I have some Laurel templates cut out or printed, and I want to show you how I do that. So hang on a second. Just gonna loosen you up and scoot you over. See, I told you Charlie would answer.
Yes, he did.
Charlie is our guru.
Oh, Jenny Beyer sells a template plastic she runs through her printer.
See, I knew.
Good
I
to
told
know.
you he
Never
would
knew
know.
that. Thank you,
All right.
Charlie.
All right, I think. Yeah, I'm thinking that not all template plastic would work because it's heavy and it might not be easy to print on or to get the ink to stick.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's always something out there. So can you see that okay, Barb? Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay, so I know I'm not super close up. Don't worry about the words or anything. So what I've done is I printed out my templates. And the way that I like to cut my templates, and I find that this keeps things from shifting and it keeps them as accurate as possible. I don't know if you've ever tried to use a ruler and rotary cutter on paper, but sometimes because it's so thin, it moves on you. So what I do, this is for Laurel. I use my ruler to do all of my straight edges. So anywhere that I have a straight edge, I use this, and I don't cut all the way through. I cut through the paper, but I don't cut it out. That'll make sense in a second. So what I do is I cut and I stay on the paper. So you see how I just did that and I didn't go all the way through? And then I just keep moving it and doing all the little straight parts as much as I can. Like this. And the bottom. Now I'm going to do the bottom, which is the last one, but I still have this template on here. I still have the curves to do. So I'm going to move right over to this template. And if I do this and then take the paper off and go back in with my scissors, or sometimes I'll use a rotary cutter. It depends on your comfort level. If you're comfortable cutting a curve with a rotary cutter, I'll usually use that, or you can use scissors. But what I'll do now, because this is not totally torn off, so I have the paper kind of stabilizing it, then I'll go in and take my rotary cutter and cut. And if I decide I'm not doing well, I'll just cut it like that, go in here, and then use my paper scissors. And then,
Oh, no.
I just find that if I do this, that I don't have to worry about the paper moving. If you try to do that, sometimes the paper slips as you're going, and then you cut your template. And some of you have a printer at home and can just go print another template. Some of you have to send it out to be printed. I have a printer at home, but it's terrible. So that one is a little bit rough because it's a tight curve, so I'll just use my rotary cutter and get in there and just kind of clean that up a little bit. And I have my template. So, is that showing?
Yeah, this froze.
Okay. Of course our computer froze. So that's just a little trick that I use. And then for this one, since I just have the curve, I'll just tear my paper off. And I'll just use my scissors for this. And I always cut right on the outside of the line. I don't cut the line away because then you can't see if you've cut too far in. Just like that. So now I have my templates all cut out and I'm ready to go. So that's just a little something extra that I like to do. I'm going to move the camera again and go back to my post. So hang on.
You're frozen.
Sorry for the
here.
shaking here. There we go. Okay, so And something else that I just thought of to tell you guys, and I didn't prepare anything to show you, but I was thinking about it because I just did it in the video that I was doing for the Prima Diva. I talk about this in some of the patterns. After I get my template cut, what I do is then take that to my interfaced fabric. I do not cut fabric and interfacing separately. I have it already fused. That's why I tell you guys in patterns to cut rectangles or squares, the larger pieces, because if you use your template once instead of 2 or 3 times, it's going to be more accurate. You're less likely to cut into your template and you're more likely to get your pieces even. But here's a little trick that I do too, and I know I've mentioned this in some of the patterns, but I'll tell you as well. Let's say that this right here is a piece of fabric that doesn't have interfacing, and this is a piece of fabric that does have interfacing, and I need to cut both of these out of this. If this doesn't have interfacing, what I'll do is I'll put them together, and I always leave the piece that doesn't have interfacing on the bottom. If these are going to get sewn together, I'll pin them right sides together. So I have my pins in here, and then I take my template and I cut around it. Cutting a piece of fabric without interfacing is kind of like cutting a piece of paper. So if I do that, then I know that this won't shift. And then if this is pinned right sides together, I can take that to my sewing machine and sew it, and I don't have to worry about things being lined up. Even though I'm using the same template, I don't know, it's happened to all of us. You cut 2 things and they're not exactly the same size. So I don't do a lot of templates in my bags. A lot of them are cut out of rectangles or use box corners, but some of them do. So just a few tips. And we have another question.
Lori Heron would like to know, do you cut your fabric from your pattern piece template, or do you draw it on the fabric and then cut it, taking the template away?
That's a good question. I usually cut directly from the template. Again, that is a personal preference. If you are not comfortable, or if you are afraid of cutting your paper or your cardstock or whatever you printed it out of, you can absolutely go ahead and trace. Just make sure that you trace with something fine. Don't use too wide of a pen or a pencil. Make sure you have like a thin mechanical pencil or a thin friction pen. I would probably, if I was going to trace on the back side or on the like the interfacing side, because it's more stable. Obviously, whatever I trace here, I'm going to cut on anyway. I'm not concerned about that, but if this slides on fabric, it's not going to be accurate. I know we were talking about this a few weeks ago when I was at the shop with applique, tracing on your applique shape. So just use something fine and something that won't be showing later, just in case you make any mistakes. I just usually take this right to the fabric and cut around it. And a lot of times I don't even pin it. I know that's really, really bad. And I probably made more mistakes than I will even admit to you, but that's what happens when you're always in a rush. So I don't do that. I don't trace. One other thing I don't do, any of the templates that say place on fold, I don't ever place them on the fold, even though I'm the one that wrote it that way. I know the reason. Barb's rolling her eyes at me. You see, you can hear her, but you can't see her. We'll get her a camera next week. The reason for that is, there's 2 reasons. Number one, I can't make all the templates full size. I prefer full size templates to pieces, because I know you can lose this, where if it's a big piece, you're less likely to lose it. But sometimes, depending on the size, I can't fit it on a piece of paper. And I made this goal a long time ago that I would never print a pattern on paper larger than 8.5 by 11. I don't want you to have to go out and have it printed. I want you to be able to print it at home. So a lot of times that's why there's a place on fold. A lot of people are comfortable with it because they only have to make one cut with the fold in the center. It's perfectly fine. I wouldn't write it that way if it wasn't. Why don't I? It's a weird habit that I have of putting this down, cutting and flipping over. And a lot of times I fussy cut, so I want to see where that center is. That's just me. It's like when you sew handles, I always sew the 1/8 inch first instead of the 1/4. Does it matter? No. Does it matter if you do it the opposite way? No, but we all have our weird ways of doing things. So yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. I do whatever I feel like doing, however I feel like doing. You used to make a lot of bags, Barb. Mm-hmm. Do you trace, or do you go right to cutting? Do you pin? How do you do it?
I would put it on and I would cut around the template. I would not trace it.
Yeah. So, and there's nothing wrong with either way. I say this to you guys all the time. If you get to the end and you're pleased with the result, then you did it right. That's all that matters. So if you're new, or if you're a little cautious, or some of us are not steady with a rotary cutter, or don't feel comfortable, trace this on by all means. The good thing about tracing it on is that you have the benefit over us of being able to check it and make sure you like how it looks. Me, I just wing it, and if it's not right, I either cut more fabric or, I just have to go with it. It's just one of those things. So tracing is probably smarter, but I'm lazy. So I'm very lazy. I say that a lot because it's true. I'm very, very lazy. So, I think that's everything. I think that's everything for today. I know it's kind of a blah topic, but it's something we all need to talk about. I have a couple ideas for next week. I haven't decided on which one exactly, but I am working on some things for the fall that are going to be super exciting. Maybe some quick gifty things. I don't know. I'm working on videos, and I want your feedback. So tell me other topics that you really want me to cover. Tell me if you want me to just leave and let Barb do the whole Facebook Live. I don't care.
You don't want that.
She's a long armer. We could try to convince her to talk about long arming. Whatever. If enough of you beg, she'll probably do it. But, and don't forget, I am a quilter too, and I also sew other things besides bags. So if there's something non-bag related that you're interested in knowing, say it. I think this group tends to be 98% bag makers. So I don't care what the topic is. I have ideas, but I also want your feedback. Other than that, did we cover everything?
I think so.
I think so. In 40 minutes, look at that. I don't have to talk for an hour. I think that's it. So I'm going to call it a day here. If you have any questions, email me or leave it in the comments. Facebook Messenger is hard for me to use. I'm begging you, please don't message me on Facebook. It's very difficult. It just is. But leave a comment. We answer them all the time, and follow us and like us, and I don't know, come back next Friday. I think that's everything. We'll see you next Friday. So you guys have a great weekend, and hopefully I'll have some things to post and show you what I've been working on, and join the Facebook group. We want you all to come. So have a great weekend. We'll see you guys later. Bye.